Now, the Bangkok International Motor Show isn't just about cars. A lot of the bikes are making their way here as well. And will they go to the Philippines? Well, the bike market in the Philippines is relatively the same, so I think it's something that's relevant to our market. Let's start off with Honda. Now, Honda launched these two bikes, the Rebel 300 and the CL 300. These are bikes that generally look like what Honda already sells, except these are now equipped with Honda's e-clutch technology. Ano ba yung e-clutch? I'm going to do my best to explain kasi wala si Leander dito. But basically, it's a manual transmission that allows you to use it like an automatic. So these bikes generally are easier to ride, especially for a beginner rider, but also for a more experienced rider or maybe someone who has, I don't know, Leander, gout. So you might not have to work the clutch as hard. So those are these two. And we also have some other new bikes from Honda, including this one, which is the Hornet 1000 SP. This one is a naked bike. It's a 4-cylinder 1000cc liter bike, and I find that it looks good, except that this headlight cowling looks a little bit familiar, something akin to a Z1000, no? Honda also has a few other bikes on display. Like here's a MotoGP rider of their the first Thai rider in MotoGP. That's cool. Can't sit on it. And then they also launched the new XADV 750, which is a facelift of the current XADV. I've always been a fan of the XADV. I found that I don't really fit in scooters. As you can see, I'm medyo tall. I'm 6'2". But the XADV has always been something interesting to me because it's a relatively off-road, parang ADV in a scooter. And while it's not the best off-road for a scooter, it is up there as one of the only options you can use off-road. Now, they also launched this one, the Forza 750. It's generally a maxi scoot. I think it competes a little bit with the NMAX and kind of looks like one also. But it does look quite good. Has the signature Honda front end here with the medyo angry look. And that's about it for Honda. So let's move on to Yamaha. Now, si Yamaha, medyo maraming bago. Mamaya na si Suzuki. It's over here pala. Or if you want Suzuki na muna. Sige, Suzuki na tayo. Okay. So in Suzuki, honestly, not much new. You have a Bergman here with some accessories there. So you have like crash bars, lights, uso tos mga nagawangwang. They did display this. This is the Hayabusa. I think it's a small upgrade. It actually looks the same as all the other Hayabusas I've seen, so I don't think there's much. Although I'm surprised that it's here, right here in the center of the show, kasi as far as I know, they haven't upgraded it in a long time. Now here, they have a MotoGP bike. I don't know if it's a MotoGP bike that's just here, but Suzuki doesn't really have much, so we're gonna make our way here naman. So, si Yamaha. Medyo marami. I'm sorry na lang to Charles because it's kind of hard to shoot with all these reflections, no? But let's start here with the Fazios, because the Fazios, they're kind of big in the Philippines, no? So these are all the different colors of Fazio they have. So they have a green one, a black one, a white one, a light green one, a dark blue one, this ochre looking one. But I like them. They're very cute. They're very simple bikes na alam ko medyo mahal na now, but you know, I think they command a good price kasi they look very stylish. Ganon. So, nagagamit siya every day. They also have some special editions like this one over here. With this, three-tone? Three-tone ba to? Three-tone color scheme. So you have blue, orange, white, and it's quite cute, no? Now, here on stage, they did launch some big bikes. Like this one is the final edition of the SR. So the SR is Yamaha's retro bike. So it's a single-cylinder, 400cc engine. And it looks really good. Very chrome, very classic. You wouldn't think that this is a modern bike. And yet, here we are. Actually, it looks really nice. Eh. See, Ruth, may ganito eh. And when I first saw it, parang, okay, I really thought it was a retro bike, but it's a retro-looking bike with modern features. This is the final edition. I think they're going to stop making them already. But if this ever comes to the Philippines, take your chance to buy one kasi it's one of those timeless designs with the boots on the suspension and everything. I really like that one. Now here is Yamaha's new sport bike. Not this. So this is Yamaha's new sport bike. It's the Yamaha R3 and the R9. Now the R9 is quite special because this takes the place of the R6. So the R9 has a 3-cylinder 900cc, well, 890cc, pero who's counting na, diba? It's a sport bike that is generally their entry into the lightweight sport bike scene. Although displacement medyo malapit na sa liter bike eh. So in terms of power, you have the power. In terms of smoothness, it's a triple. So it actually rides, at least when I tried it, this engine is very, very good, very, very smooth, and delivers a lot of power, a lot of bang for your buck, no? Okay, so Yamaha, we can walk around again. There's just so much. You have the MT series here. You have the sport bikes here. You have the R15, which is their small sport bike over there. Maraming fans yun sa Philippines, no? You can hear them at 3 in the morning. So Yamaha Marine is here. Honda Marine is there also. We have some B-roll shot of the Honda Marine, but Yamaha has some jet skis. They've always been famous for it. But interesting, they have this, the Superjet. It's a stand-up jet ski. And that's all I know about it. But as you can see, wala siyang upuan. So dito ka standing up and you're gonna hold on there. I think it's really more for stunts and for light jet ski use. And then you have the big boy here. So basically, ito yung liter bike of jet skis. It's huge. Let's look at the specs kasi wala akong alam. 2-liter engine. So imagine it's a 1,900cc jet ski. Okay, on to something a little bit more familiar is BMW. So BMW, if you look at their bikes, you look at around, they all look familiar. Why? Because BMW Motorrad in the Philippines actually introduced these already. They also launched this last year in Bangkok, the R1300 GS Adventure. So you can see much bigger cowling than the regular GS. See, Leander and I tried sitting on one and we were quite impressed when we saw it in Manila, no? Weirdly, they have an older 1250 pa. This is R12. This is a new R12. This was launched last year in the Philippines, and they recently did a R12S launch, which is a limited edition 1.6 million peso bike now. That launch did pretty well. Maybe we'll do some videos on that if they have a demo car, Spencer. Demo car. Demo bike. Hindi siya car. And then they have the R12. They have maxi scooters here. So this is a C400 GT. Actually, not changed from the last one. And they have this one, the S1000 RR. Again, not changed. This isn't a new bike, but I like it. Kasi, like, you know, BMW M colors, medyo bagay siya sa bikes, diba? Yeah, you have your big boys over here. I don't know anything about cruisers. And if you guys haven't seen an R18, I urge you to drop by BMW Motorrad to see it because there's something special about the 1,800cc Boxer Twin. So you can see air-cooled siya, wala siyang radiator. And although mainit siya while riding, it's quite an impressive motor. The whole bike shakes when you start it up. And then see Harley. Now see Harley, so Philippines hasn't been doing so. I don't see a lot of them as much, no? But they do have their normal cruisers are there. This is what you look at when you think Harley-Davidson. This is what you think, the Road Glide or that one. But for me, one of the bikes that interests me with Harley is this one, which hasn't done so well. It's not so popular, no? The 1250. This is their adventure bikes. No, it's a big bike. It's got electronic suspension. It's got all the features and everything you'd want in an adventure bike. So it really competes against the BMW R1300 GS Adventure and the GS. The question is, will it survive with more people buying them? Kasi it's a good bike, but not as popular lang talaga as the R1300. No? Okay, Can-Am. Can-Am, interestingly, everyone knows it for that one. They have the side-by-sides, no? So I didn't know, but apparently they do e-bikes now also. So you might see more of these on the roads. In the Philippines, wala pa yata silang distributor for the bikes, but you do have Can-Am e-bikes. So they're electric. They have a range of 160 kilometers. And I think that's one of the problems of electric motorcycles. Now, electric cars, kasi you have a big car that you can put a big battery on. Electric motorcycles, for some reason, that reason being weight, it's small, you only have a smaller battery. So this is one of the longer range ones. 160 kilometers is generally okay for an electric bike. But for normal use, parang hirap tayo sa 160 kilometers, no? And then here, Kawasaki. Kawasaki has a jet ski on display, parang marine. And they have their bikes. Ito yung sinasabi ko about the Honda. Medyo kamukha, no? S1000 Hornet. And then you have this one. Looks a little bit same. The bike that interests me the most in Kawasaki's lineup is this one, actually. This is your new KLR. The KLR is their dual sport motorcycle. Now, I've always been a fan. KLR 650 is a classic bike. It's a very simple, big bore, single cylinder motorcycle. Now, you can really take off-road and across the world, diba? What they did with the new one is it looks the same, more or less, but they gave it a much more advanced, much more modern engine. But even then, when you look at it, this isn't the most economical bike. That's because it's a really big bike with a single cylinder. But the fact that they kept it alive is such a good thing, because the old one was a classic. I really wanted one, but it's a very simple bike. So this one's a little bit more electronic, a little bit more interesting then. Everyone knows this. It's the famous Ninja H2. It's a liter bike, but the big thing that makes it crazy is that it's a supercharged liter bike. So my supercharger siya, which means na it's got force induction, and that is crazy for bikes. No, it's crazy complicated. You can see palang all these hoses and everything. It's a very complicated bike. It's very crazy bike. It's insane speed. Like, you will never use it on the road, and you hear them also at 3 in the morning. Okay, and I guess the last thing in Kawasaki's booth is their classic. We were talking about the classic a while ago, the S4. This is Kawasaki's version, the W800. This one, I actually prefer a little bit in terms of the size, because I find the SR400 a little bit narrow, a little bit small. This one's W800's a lot bigger. It also sounds quite good because it's multi-cylinder, no? So, syempre, Bangkok International Motor Show, it's really more about cars. But the bikes have a pretty good presence also. You have an Eliminator here, oh. Okay, see, Leander's a fan of that, I think. But you have Royal Enfield. Royal Enfield has had a pretty good showing in the Philippines. They've got good bikes. I'm a fan of the Himalayan. I find that the Himalayan's medyo a simple off-road adventure bike. Royal Enfield, for those who don't know, it used to be a British brand now, and then it was purchased by Indian conglomerate, because India really likes these bikes, and for good reason. They're simple-looking, classic bikes with decent performance. And sayang, wala silang Himalayan on display. I really like the Himalayan. I find that it's one of the big bikes that I like. So we also have Triumph here. Triumph has the T100 Bonneville, classic bike. Classic looks. They have some more modern bikes also, but I'm not as familiar with the modern bikes. For me, Triumph kasi is always going to be about the Speed Twin 1200, which is, I think, one of the most beautiful retro bikes. This is the bike that really brought BMW to make the R90, the R12S, to really fight into this retro bike market. No, one of the bikes that I like from Triumph, and one of the ones that stand out for me, well, first is this one, the Speed Triple 1200 RR. The Speed Triple was always a special bike for Triumph, because what makes Triumph different from all the other manufacturers, except maybe Yamaha now, is that Triumph came with a 3-cylinder engine, which sounds amazing. If you have a chance to test drive a Triumph and you hear that engine, you'll know it's something special. And they also have the Tiger 1200, which is their adventure bike. This is the one that, when it first came out, it took on the BMW R1200 GS and won in most of the comparos, because it was a little bit more composed, a little bit better feeling, and also it came with that 3-cylinder engine that was legendary, you know? So with BMW, you have the Boxer Twin. With Triumph, you have the triple-cylindered engine. And you have this one, the insane Rocket 3 Storm R. This was launched in the Philippines, was immediately sold out, and then resold by the resellers, because this was a limited edition in the Philippines. It was just one of the craziest bikes you can buy. It takes after the Diavel, so it's a cruiser, bruiser, muscle bike. So this one, if we look at it, imagine this. No, Charles, it's 180 horsepower in a motorcycle. So the Rocket has always been an insane motorcycle, and I'm glad to see that they haven't killed it off just yet. So those are the bikes of the Bangkok International Motor Show. It's a good selection. I love it, especially big launches from Yamaha, from Honda. And can't wait to see what's more. And I'll see you in the next bike show, I guess.